Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, I like to invite the speaker, Mr. Parivardhan Dangi, who will talk on introduction to hemp. I now request the speaker to begin. Thank you.
Uh, Thank you, Rajni. Hello, everyone. This is Parivardhan Dangi. So I am the founder of Neoli International Private Limited, which is a hemp startup based out of Uttarakhand. We're in Almora, Ranikhet, and we are manufacturers of hemp seed oil. We started back in 2019, and we're doing pretty good as of now. So, I was approached with this topic of introduction to hemp, and hemp, as we know, uh, is a is a crop which is not very well understood even still now. So I would like to share some light on the subject, and I hope my screen is visible. I've shared my screen. Ma'am, can you just confirm?
Yes. I can see
Yeah.
your screen.
All right. So let me begin with the Neoli. Like I said, we're a startup based out of Uttarakhand, and we have been functioning since 2019. So it's been good 5, 6 years for us with the experience in this industry, and I would say that we have been in the industry since the beginning of the policies that started coming about, and you know the infrastructure around it being built. So we have some good insights around that. We have some of our products I'll just introduce in a quick way. We've got hemp seed oils. They for edible purposes, for skin care, pain relief, hair care, pets, as well as whole hemp seeds. So as you can see that we are focused mainly on seed-based products, and we directly produce them in Uttarakhand, directly procuring the seeds from farmers, FPOs, etc., and processing them further. So that's a little introduction about us. Now let's get to the main topic, which is what is hemp. So what is hemp? Hemp is cannabis plant. A cannabis plant, as you know, some might know, they call it marijuana, some call it bhang, some call it, it's got various names, pot, this, that. But hemp is what? Hemp is basically the industrial application of this plant. Uh, in India, in Uttarakhand, the policy that came about defines it as the variety that will have a THC value of less than 0.3%. So THC is the component, the chemical component that gives you the high or the narcotic aspect of it. But the rest of the plant is still available to us without any narcotics or anything. And this definition of hemp might even vary based on which region you are, like in Europe or Canada. Some places even have stricter, norms defining it as less than 0.1% THC. And THC, like I said, is the chemical component which which has the narcotic value. So this is the most important thing to understand, that hemp is basically an industrial application of this plant in various applications. There are around 25,000 industrial products that can be made from hemp. And as we know, in India, we have been growing hemp since a long time. Uh, Britishers used to make the sails of the ships, all the ropes for the ships from the hemp that was cultivated here. And apart from that, it is amongst the first plants to be ever cultivated. So that's where we derived a word from Neolithic, Neoli. Moving on to the industries and the uses, so I'd like to share a broad perspective. So first is your medical application, where you have CBD products, Vijaya products. Then you have the cosmetic applications, shampoos, moisturizers, sunscreens, creams, soaps, and the, everything. Architectural application includes like hempcrete bricks, uh, homestays, then boards, fiber boards, etc. Food application, this includes hearts, seeds, oils, bakery products, hemp beverages, etc. Then you have textiles, which is clothing, upholstery, sofa material, and even other such some technical fabrics as well. Then specific to industrial applications, there are car body panels that are made with hemp fiber boards. There is space insulation materials which are used in spacecrafts for its fire insulation properties. So all in all, we can say that roti, kapda, and makan. This is what hemp gives you. It gives you food, it gives you textile, it gives you housing, which encompasses all the needs of humans. So a few factual benefits of why hemp over other materials. One would say that there are other materials that come from uh, cotton and other plants which can be used for the same purposes. But if we see that hemp has actually better properties, be it, its strength versus cotton, be it its sustainability in terms of growing, how much pesticide it needs, soil, how much water it needs. In terms of food, it's a superfood which has around 33% protein and 35% fatty acids. So, and concrete, hempcrete is better than concrete. So, in all its divisions, it's actually better than its competitive products and materials. And I'm sure some of you might have also heard about cure for cancer, like a lot of research and is still going on as to, prove and find the application in curing cancer. Although it is currently being used for pain management in cancer patients, we're still to find the cure. So, talking about the plant itself, this is the plant. This is an illustration of the plant you can see. And basically, what outputs we get are the seeds, the leaves, and the stalk. The steam, all these three parts of the plant are used for different applications. Whole industries are built around on these. So from the seeds, all these foods, body care products, soaps, oils, paints and varnishes, etc. From the stalk, we can make the fiber and the wood. So wood applications, hempcrete, textiles, all that paper, this can be made from the stalk. Leaves, as we know, are the medical application. These are the ones. See, it's the leaves and the flowers that contain THC and CBD. So these are used in medical applications. All in all, hemp is a super crop. Now, if we talk about the market, um, we have the current market size at around 9.6 billion, which has almost doubled in the last 5 years, if you ask me. Uh, it's showing a growth rate of 20% annually, which is a staggering 48 billion by 2032. So it's a huge market. Around 40 plus companies, some say around 60, 70, but are, contributing in the hemp industry. Uh, and as we know, like US, many of the states in US have already legalized different forms of this plant. But otherwise, up to uh, like basically, otherwise, not the cannabis plant, but hemp is being regulated, and for its industrial application. So different laws are also building around it. Then, so what are India's hemp opportunities? So number one, firstly, let me emphasize the fact that hemp is a plant that has been native to the Himalayan belt and all the Himalayan, regions of India. They have this plant. It grows easily over there. They have a history with this plant. But as of today, Himachal, Uttarakhand, Jammu Kashmir, and MP and UP have some sort of regulations that allow farmers to cultivate or process these plants. So there are different legal permissions, of course. It varies state-wise. Each state has a different policy or a different approach towards it. But all in all, we do remember, that bhang shops have been there since like 80s, 90s, or even before that in UP, which are like government bhang shop where you get drinks, a bhang drink. So there are different, these are the states that have sort of opened up as of now, and they're trying to figure out how to take industrial hemp forward. Then, of course, there's a rising demand in food and cosmetics and textiles in India, with the, consumers having more money to spend. People are beginning to explore these uh, new items, new products like hemp as a product. Okay, now talking about the key value chains in terms of the industrial hemp, we can see that there are, broadly speaking, three, business categories: fiber, seed, and flower. Now, easiest among these is the seed and the fiber, which are sort of have less regulations around them. The flower business is somewhat still in a gray area where, it's you need to understand the law properly to function in this. Uh, Within fiber businesses, people can get into textiles, ropes, composites, bioplastics, hempcrete. Uh, and when I'm saying textiles, it means like, the shirt that I'm wearing, this kind of quality of shirt is being made currently with hemp. Then when it comes to seed businesses, of course, oil. Oil is the, basic product that we can get by cold pressing the seeds. Proteins, a byproduct, or, alternatively by hulling the seeds, we can make protein powders, which are pretty famous also these days in gym with gym goers in general and people who are, health conscious. There are multiple snacks, biscuits, uh, pastries, salt and namkeen, different kind of things that are coming around. Then, of course, skincare oils, again from the seed oil, owing to its, anti-inflammatory properties, high amount of omega-3s. These are being used in the cosmetic industry. Then talking about flour, which is the most challenging actually in terms of law, in terms of the laws. Flower business is basically for the medical aspect of it. If you're interested into getting to know about the CBD oils, Vijaya oils, CBD gummies, uh, as well as CBD cosmetics, these are all coming under the flower part of it. And you might not need to, uh, you know, you don't need to produce all of these things. You can buy some of it, you can import some of it in today's time. You can make your own products using the raw materials that are required. So, okay. Now, an important question is what are the, you know, opportunities for startups and for farmers? So, for startups, we know that agri processing has picked up pace in India in the startup community as well. And this is a growing field. There are numerous innovations happening in this, maybe new products, new applications of hemp that are not been discovered yet are still, great opportunities for you. FMCG is already booming. Skincare. You might have seen products like Beardo oil, and beard growing oils, and a lot of niche products that are coming around. You might have seen some of them already. So, but still, there is a huge opportunity of capturing market, gaining customers, new customers around this. Apparel, of course, is a huge. India has been one of the biggest, you know, apparel markets as well as exporters in apparel, and we have some great skill in apparel. It's an industry which is well set up. So plugging hemp into this industry is, something that new entrepreneurs can look into. Trading. Well, trading is amongst the simpler things, but yes, still a very important thing because you won't need a lot of permissions for trading hemp products. So it's somewhat easier to uh, work in this domain, but it has its own challenges, of course. Now, as for farmers, hemp provides a great opportunity. Why? Because it is not a traditional food crop. It's a cash crop. It is a cash crop that gives much more value to the farmers in terms of in terms of the raw materials and equipment that they would require to cultivate this plant. Uh, it needs low water, so less water is required. They don't need to have a lot of water arrangement, which is a big challenge for Indian farmers. It produces high biomass. In an earlier slide, I showed you that how it reduces the CO2 emissions compared to forests. So, uh, as a plant, as an agricultural produce, this is a great opportunity for the farmers. Of course, they need government support for growing, uh, and they need the governments to also step up and include ways to introduce this and make it easier for the farmer to get into cultivation of this crop because it is a very high value crop, very high value crop. I remember already it has the price of seed has increased like 5x, 10x in the last 2 years directly for the farmer. This I'm not talking about the traders, I'm talking directly for the farmers. And the the time when we started, the farmers were actually uh, just they were throwing away. It was a waste product for them, and they never knew that there are industrial applications to this. It actually considered a weed growing in their farm, and they would just destroy it. So now it presents itself as a high value cash crop. Okay, another very important aspect of hemp are the compliances. Compliances are something that are still building, I would say. There are, it's still evolving, this domain, with the policies of the government, um, opening and trying to incorporate as many aspects of it. But broadly speaking, if you want to get into cosmetics, you will need a Central Drugs Standard Control Organization, CDSCO certificate or certified lab, etc. So all the cosmetics, creams, hand cream, soap, etc., these will fall under this category. Then food, hemp seed, hemp seed oil, hemp heart, and other products that are made from hemp. All of these fall under the food category and are con- uh, regulated by FSSAI. There's a new 101 category of food products specifically for hemp products. This came out in 2021, with some of our efforts and other hemp industry companies trying to push because this wasn't even there. Then when it comes to medical, the most simple and direct route as of now is still Ayush, which is based on our uh, medicinal system from ancestral medicinal system. Now, although it might not be, you can say it's not at par with FDA in terms of regulatory compliances and its um, acceptance worldwide, but in India at least, it is one of the main forces, and it is something that supports hemp as of now. So any kind of oils, Vijaya oils, etc., these are all falling under the medical and the Ayush ministry. So you need a Ayush license for this. Now comes the cultivation. Cultivation is still a it's actually a difficult aspect of it because uh, the main law that governs the cultivation of hemp is it falls under the NDPS uh, Act of 1985. So narcotics and drug prevention. So this is a central act, and it is a very strict act. So because of it being a strict act, it is still difficult for the cultivation of this crop and the understanding of cultivation in all over India. But like I said, these couple of states within this policy, it allows the states to make their own policy, and so Bhang policy of Uttarakhand, for example, it does allow with some regulations and some uh, you know rules and uh, tests, etc., to follow. You can get a license, and you can get this license to grow hemp in a certain around area in tandem with the government, and you need to keep on telling them also that what is happening. So it is very regulated. So yeah, these are some of the ways where which you can move forward with compliance and regulations in terms of whatever category of products that you look into. Moving on to the next part is the challenges. So challenge uh, number one, regulations. Well, the policies being, coming from NDPS, then every state having its own approach towards it, medical hemp and industrial hemp being different applications. So there are still, this work is still going on, and I wouldn't say that it's lacking, but government policymakers are working to improve this. These four states have sort of opened that domain, uh, and work is progressing, but it is still a challenge, So yeah, market awareness. I think market awareness is the biggest challenge that the hemp industry faces, because whenever we talk about hemp, the one thing that comes to people's mind is narcotics, and that is a very strong narcotic sentiment around it. Even in fact, recently I saw some big movie on Netflix, which was, portraying hemp, uh, a hemp company to in a certain light, in a different light, and they were exactly trying to, resolve and use hemp for an industrial application. But that's the, sentiment that we have around it. Then again, there are limited products in the market as of now, and awareness about the product is also missing. So I'm still, every recently I was at the IITF, India International Trade Fair, and 2025, and still I saw so many people, even from Uttarakhand itself, who were surprised to see that hemp is being used to make oils. So that lack of awareness about the product is also something that, starts normalizing people about the other uses of hemp. So that thing is also required. We want like as many products around hemp in general categories of products. Then supply chain gaps. Well, there is at least so this I'm speaking in terms of my experience in Uttarakhand, where basically there is a weak supply chain connecting the farmer and the industry. We still need to reach out to farmers like on one-to-one basis at times, not even village to village, but like farmer to farmer. And it is not it sort of needs to improve to be able to procure large amounts of hemp uh, in totality. Also, the supply is low, and the like I said, regulations that some there are some times when the cops are coming and actually destroying these fields, which farmers have grown for seed purposes. And Uttarakhand is one of the states where seed is actually used in chutney, in in sabzi, in salt. This is a traditional, application that we, at least the people of Uttarakhand, are already aware and using them. All right, now moving on to the next, industrial infrastructure. Well, being a new industry in itself, hemp industry does face, logical support, logistic support is difficult. Uh, in remote areas where these plants are growing, there are very few, logistic supporters or transporters who actually can get their vehicles up to that those far-fetched areas. And even procuring from the difficult terrains of the hills is a challenging task. So that is still um, something that is a challenge in the in the in Uttarakhand at least. Then lack of storage solutions again. There the Bhan policy of Uttarakhand does have a section where it specifically allows you storage for hemp, and that is also treated under the law. So still, that's something that needs to be looked into. And in general, lack of farming support with small-time farmers, because this crop is something that small-time farmers can really easily grow. So that lack of farming equipment support in hilly terrains or with small-time farmers is something that is still a challenge. But I think we're all working towards this. All right. So I am sort of about to conclude now with a few future trends that you might be interested. Hempcrete, which is basically the bricks that are made with hemp husk. These are something to look out for because, like I said, roti kapda makan. This is the makan aspect of it, and we need infrastructure throughout India. Hemp is one of the sustainable kind of materials for architecture. It it's fire retardant, so its properties and all. It's very indicative that hempcrete will be a commonly will start being commonly used as an infrastructure material with architects. Then bioplastics, where we're already looking into sustainable plastics, and that awareness is growing, especially in metropolitan cities. So a lot of innovation is also happening around bioplastics. Uh, Clean beauty formulations. Again, a future trend which is booming like anything. We've seen Korean cosmetic products, Korean cosmetics, face masks, new kind of cosmetic products available in the market, and they've taken like the audiences have accepted them with open hands. So this is another field which is not gonna stop growing. People are trying to take care of themselves more and more. Self-grooming is a thing now. So look out for this opportunity. And of course, superfoods. So from your high-end marts to, home delivery services, people, you can see that a lot of the products that are being pushed are superfoods in different categories. Something that have nutraceutical properties or are people are getting aware that what are they eating, how much nutrition does it have? And hemp, like I said, it is full of nutrition. So this is again an opportunity area which is great for anybody who's looking into planning a future with hemp or hemp products. So this is something to look out for. All right, with that, I would like to conclude and just share my screen with you, which has my Instagram and LinkedIn posts, LinkedIn links. So do get in touch if you want to get in touch with me, if you want to have any questions, if you want to ask anything, you can get in touch with me. All right. So Rajni I
Okay.
think that concludes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Parivardhan, for the detailed presentation. Now, quickly, I'll take up some questions. Okay. First question is, what is the legal and regularity status of hemp cultivation in India? In this Uttarakhand pilot projects exist.
Yeah, so like I said, ma'am, I'll just take you back to this compliances. So there are different parts of, when you asked me this question, uh, basically it was only pertaining to the cultivation aspect. Now the cultivation is, like I said, uh, it is allowed in only certain states. These four states, Jammu, Kashmir, Uttarakhand, Himachal, MP, and also UP, like in terms of in small quantities. But the way it is implemented is very different. In Uttarakhand, I can specifically tell you that it is a bhang policy back in 2016. It came actually. It is still being worked upon, and it does have some. It does allow farmers to, get a license from the government, from the excise department. The process is a bit tedious, but it is possible. You can, you need to get clearances, show them everything. And also, every time you cultivate your crop, you need to test that crop for THC to justify and then use, the products for different applications. So the status of it is, like I said, it is different in state to state when it comes to cultivation. But when it comes to, let's say, being running a business, that is something which is now easier because when we started, Fasai wasn't there, but now you have Fasai. Anybody can if somebody wants to, start a hemp business, they can purchase, for example, oil from us, which is a Fasai grade oil, food grade oil, and they can use it to make other food grade equipments or food grade items that they want. So so yeah, so the like I said, this is the current status, and also I'll like to differentiate that in Madhya Pradesh and in UP, the license that they get is different for cultivation, but in essence, it allows you to grow this plant.
Okay. Next question is, what sort of license or permission does a farmer need to obtain before starting hemp cultivation? What is the process for that? And what is the process for that?
Okay, so like I said, I think the if somebody wants to grow hemp in other parts of the country, in simpler words, it is not allowed. Only certain institutes and colleges or medical schools, they also need to get permission. The farmer cannot grow this plant anywhere else except these states as of now. They can only grow it in Uttarakhand, Himachal. uh, they need to approach they need to download the bhang policy 2016, and according to that they need to select a region. They need to fill out the form. They need to get in touch with their patwari, get their papers sorted that what that this land belongs to them. They need some GPS coordinates for that. So all that is actually listed in detail within the bhang policy. However, that is it's not an easy task, I would say. It is not very straightforward, but if you need, you should first download the Bhang policy. Anybody, you can search Bhang policy on Google, and you'll be able to find it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Given the given that the THC limits are often specified, that is example 0.3%, how does one ensure compliance starting from seed sourcing, cultivation to harvesting and processing?
All right. So the easiest question, actually easiest thing to do is first decide what you're going to be, what kind of business you're getting into. Unless you are getting into the flower business, the regulations around the seed itself, I want to make it clear for the listeners, the seed itself is not a prohibited item. The fiber itself is not a prohibited item. Only the leaf, the flower, is the prohibited item by law. Second, the production of THC chemical does not happen in the seed part of the plant. When the plant is growing, the THC is only something that is found in the leaves or the flowers. The seeds do not produce any THC. The stalk does not produce any THC. The fibers do not have any THC. So when you are dealing with these items, you can be assured that there is no THC. And if you want, you can go ahead and actually conduct some lab tests. There are lab tests where you can find out the THC value present in any item. So needless to say, the value will come out to be zero or negligible.
Okay. And what are the risks of regulatory law enforcement issues or social stigma for a farmer involved in hemp cultivation, and how can these be mitigated?
Can you repeat that, please?
What are the risks
It's a
of?
two-part question. Can you just
I'll
we'll
just put
just
it in
split
the
it in.
chat box once again. I'll put it in the chat box. Yeah, I posted in the chat box.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. So first question, what are the risks of regulatory law enforcement issues or social signals for a farmer involved in hemp cultivation? So the risks are basically their time, I would say, because this is something that will take time, they need to put in time and understanding into the process, whatever the regulations are for their state or um, their area. They need to get a good understanding. So the risk is one of the challenges. I wouldn't say call it a risk, but I would call it a challenge that firstly the farmer needs to have a little bit of understanding of the law. So maybe he can, if he doesn't have it, he might have to refer to a consultant or a law expert who can help him out because I think the main because that is the main thing. And as far as the social stigma for the farmer goes, uh, he would need to, regulate and be very careful as to nobody is doing any misuse of his cultivation or his wherever he's planted this plant. So how can we mitigate these would be that, I think first of all, normalizing hemp as a product within the social society. That is very, very important. We're still seeing portrayal of hemp as a, narcotic thing. Like I said, a very popular South Indian movie that I watched recently on Netflix, it completely portrayed a guy like me who's running a hemp business as a very villainous guy who's doing narcotics and stuff. So that image needs to change. If that is the image, then if a farmer is growing, the society will also, question him that is he growing it for narcotic purpose or is he growing it for other purpose? And as of now, that thing is more towards, the narcotic aspect of it. So this is the challenge, and this is the risk, but it can be overcome once, once the farmer uh, is able to get the proper license, start growing, see his growth prospect, then all these things become irrelevant. He will get money, and then he will be satisfied. But yes, the law enforcement needs to also, step up uh, and start becoming aware of these laws, because sometimes what happens is that a police guy would come and he doesn't know the law. Like, the excise department would know they have given you permission, but so I think that is something that is just that can be taken step by step, and it's a more practical thing. I don't think it should stop anybody from trying to farm or trying to get into this industry.
Okay. And what soil type, climate, and water conditions are ideal for hemp cultivation? And would hemp do well in Tamil Nadu agroclimate, which has humid, often coastal, semi-arid, depending on region?
Well, personally, I have seen this plant to be a very resilient variety, resilient crop that grows almost everywhere and anywhere, because I have literally seen bushes and bushes of this plant alongside roads all over India. South also I've seen in parts of maybe Kerala, uh, in Andhra, in Karnataka also, like alongside roads, and it is important to understand that the plant itself has many varieties in it. So it will have some kind of variety which will actually find it favorable to grow in the soil in Tamil Nadu. So uh, as a crop, it is a highly resilient crop, is what I can say. Because the more resilient a crop is, the more easier it is for it and suit itself for that environment. However, when it comes when it comes to specifically 0.1 hemp plant, it could still be a challenge, there there is a challenge of cross pollination, and as long as you are protected and doing it in a controlled environment, it would be it is very possible for farmers in Tamil Nadu to this plant as well. So I don't think that is an issue. It's more the issue of cross pollination. If the local plant are near the farm, then there is a risk of contamination or cross pollination between this, and uh, the result would impact the yield and the THC values also.
Okay.
Example, there are in our village, there are three types of these plants. One is which has uh, good, supple and heavy, thick, big seeds. So the size of the seeds are big, because in Uttarakhand, the traditional usage has been in food. So the seeds are very big. Whereas there are also some parts which have crafting, you know, they they have had used this plant to make fiber and all. So there you'll find varieties which have smaller seed, but the size of the plants are very tall. So the fibers are going tall. So there are many varieties. It's more technical, I would say. But yes, I'm will actually suit the soil of Tamil Nadu.
Okay. And what seed varieties or germplasm are best suited for Indian conditions, especially low THC, high fiber, or seed yield?
Uh, so actually, in so this crop is actually a native plant of the Himalayan region. both this side and also some of in China towards China side. So this plant is actually an origin, finds its origin in this Himalayan belt, and because of that reason, uh, there are there are naturally many varieties that are found and spread all over India. Uh, to grow that specific 0.3 THC plant, you is difficult. Those seeds have to be first procured, and those seeds are also something that you might have to procure by import. So that domain is still, I would say, it is a work in progress, and uh, you know, I think somebody who is working in an educational from the researchers and all, they would be better, answering these questions or researching around this because it takes a lot of time to find stable varieties which are specifically what you want. So what I'm trying to say is that it might be difficult to find, okay, I want something that suits the soil also and something that will give me long fibers. Maybe that particular soil will give you short fibers, but better big seeds. So I think personally also I feel try to, you know, follow nature. So I think nature finds its way and farmers are also close to nature. So they also know and find ways to, improve the seed. Like I said, for example, this particular seed in Uttarakhand. So I went about to ask farmers how they were doing this. How did they know which seed is better? So they gave me a very humble answer that traditionally they would grow this crop for food, and the guy who got the biggest seed in his farm, the rest of the villagers would, save his seed. They would not let him, nobody would use that seed for consumption. They would save that seed for the next crop and they would share, everybody would give him part of their crop yield to, to compensate. And the best quality seed would be saved for the next generation. So this is a very simple technique, but a very impactful technique, which farmers have, carried out to preserve and, get better varieties of seeds as per their need. So yeah, I hope that answers your
Yeah,
question up to some extent.
yeah, yeah. Okay. And next question is, what is the expected yield per acre under Indian condition, and how stable is yield under variable rainfall or monsoon patterns?
Okay. Uh, so I'll just refer you to my slide once. Because I cannot specifically answer this question because in Uttarakhand the farms are not usually in acres. They're very small units, and um, but I can say in general that a small farm, like let's say the smallest farm, the kind of farm that you would have a garden in front of your house, that would yield uh, up to 200 kgs of seed, I would say. See, this is a question which will depend a lot on the variety, etc., etc. But this is what happens in Uttarakhand. This is what I'm sharing. In Uttarakhand, this is a annual crop. It grows, pe or people sow it during uh, July kind of thing. Then after 3 months, it is ready for harvestation. So August, September, October. So October, November is the time when this is being harvested. Like right now is this time that if so, it becomes important if somebody wants to buy seeds or buy. So this is the time where fresh lot is produced traditionally. Now in if you talk about indoor farming, like indoor farming techniques where it is temperature controlled, where it is light controlled. There we have seen that hemp actually can be cultivated thrice in a year because of the 3 month, 3.5 month period for it to grow into a plant and be ready for harvestation. So it depends on what is the technique that you would follow. But globally, we have seen that 3 months also, like annually, 3 yields can also be taken out if you are doing it in a closed facility. And as far as the rain and all goes, I have never heard of any, like, I think this plant thrives in the harsh conditions of Uttarakhand. If there is no rain, I'll tell you in fact, if the plant gets less water, it affects the THC levels, it affects the seed uh, nutrition more than other things. So it's not that you won't get a yield, but maybe the properties would change a bit. In
Okay.
terms of THC and CBD, it thrives. If it gets less water, it increases the amount of, is what I know.
Okay. And next question is, yeah, what are the main, one second, yeah, what are the main value addition pathways, um, fiber, seed, biomass for building materials or bioproducts, which have the most immediate market potential in India?
Yeah, so presentation also the most trending uh, future trends that are there are around hempcrete, around bioplastic, around beauty, around superfood. Because see, it's not just hemp specific industry that are catering to this. This is a requirement that is coming from all aspects around us in society, in Indian society specifically. People are getting more aware about plastics, reducing the consumption of plastic, trying to use better kind of plastics. Uh, this is part of the industrial growth. As as the consumptions increase, we will see even further requirement of these raw materials and industrial application. Now, hempcrete, for example, now um there is one whole homestay that has been built using just hempcrete in Pori. Uh, there are they are giving out workshops now. It will depend on it goes hand in hand with the industrial growth of hemp as a industry. So as long as we can keep on producing more raw material, we'll be able to cater to this need, and the industry will grow. But in terms of application, definitely these are one of the simpler applications which have uh, direct use and simple use, and there's no narcotic aspect to it. So it becomes easier also you can always import, for example, if you want, you can import some of the things. You can uh, uh, you can get some things from outside also so, yeah, hempcrete has a great application in the coming future. Then beauty and cosmetic application is huge because we've seen big brands boom and like anything, so being opened now, everything is available on your mobile phone in an app. So all this is indicators, and these things uh, push such products further. They help boost the society in terms of consumption for using these products.
Okay. Are there existing buyers, that is industries, textile manufacturers, food or wellness product makers who are sourcing hemp from Indian farmers? If yes, how are contracts or supply linkages usually structured?
Ma'am, these things are unfortunately part of the infrastructure of the hemp industry that is still building up. We directly try to procure it from farmers. Sometimes we have to go door to door also to collect just 5-10 kgs of seed per house. So sometimes we invite them. So these are still some things that are growing, as of now. Um, and maybe if it is done at a large industrial scale, at very large industrial scales, it will improve, it will make it easier for the sourcing to happen. Uh, but as of now, I would say that, of course, it is challenging. You need to spend some time. You need to understand what the product is, what is the time that it will be available, who are the people you should connect with. There are some of them are like there are FPOs, FPOs are also there which can give you because see, like I said, trading is something which is non-regulated. It is you don't need a license to trade hemp seed. So the product is available, and I think that infrastructure is still building up. People, small, we are there. So if anybody wants to buy hemp seed oil, we will give them a Fasai grade oil, and they can use this oil to make 50 kind of cosmetic products. So not everybody needs to solve all the problems. Maybe some they need to understand what is it that they would like to do and which is what is it that will take less work and less regulations that will make it more practical and easier for you to work in this industry. It should not stop you, This is what I'm trying to say.
Okay. And since we are running short of time, I'll just take two more questions. Could hemp cultivation provide an alternative livelihood for small farmers, similar to what what could help cultivation provide an alternative livelihood for small farmers? And what would be the challenges for adoption at the village or small farmer level?
So yes, I think definitely it is something that can really help small farmers because it is a very high value crop, As a cash crop, it is a very high value crop. Small farmers, for a small farmer, it is very difficult for a small farmer to compete uh, with the food crops in with the, big industrial farm like big farmers, not industrial but like big farmers, somebody who has like 10 acres of land versus somebody who has only half a or quarter acre of land. He cannot use the same equipment on his land. His yield will be less. So for small farmers, it becomes all the more important to understand and start looking out for cash crops that give high value. Medicinal plants, not only hemp, but there are many other medicinal plants also, which farmers which require less work, less water, less resources. Pests don't harm them. As a farmer, but we haven't looked at these crops as cash crops. The farmer has only gets to see them much later when, the products are released. Like, so the farmers need to become more aware. They need to be educated about the laws. You know, that is again important. They need to understand how the law works. What are they permitted? What are they not permitted? Uh, and I think consolidating with each other through FPOs is something that has helped, farmers in Uttarakhand, I would at least I've seen. There are some growth centers also, which are run by self-help groups, specifically women's self-help groups who are, doing their daily work at home, and once a week they collect from everybody. So, this is the kind of structure building that's happening. And which you asked, where is that structure? So the structure was, although not there, but through even these small connections and networking with each other, these connections are forming. And those farmers connecting with each other, they share resources, they share knowledge. So that becomes very helpful for them. So I think that will be the way to go forward.
Okay. So, let's see that. Yeah. Can hemp be effectively integrated into existing cropping systems or crop rotations in Indian agriculture to enhance sustainability?
Um, well, I don't think I am qualified to answer that with the experience that I've had so far, because I've also seen hemp as a hemp being seen as a weed, like a weed in the field, as a weed for a crop. So if in Uttarakhand there is a popular uh, slang, they curse somebody like so in somebody would curse that, oh, uh, let let hemp, let this cannabis go on the field in a negative way, like your crop will get destroyed if this is growing, nothing else is growing. But it it is not exactly like that. Hemp, when we grow the sustainable, it actually puts a lot of soil. So, but how exactly would it be done is something which is more technical. So a little bit of research, but definitely it is not something that harms the environment. Does not attract pests, positives, less water requirement, putting back nutrients into the ground. It even grows in field, becomes barren, and it starts upgrading the soil quality. But that is only if this is growing. I don't know whether how it will perform when it is grown alongside with something else. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now, last question. What are the social and economic implications for rural communities in
So
terms
I
of
hope that
employment?
answers the question, ma'am.
Yeah. So, last question. What are the social and economic implications for rural communities in terms of employment,
Hello.
skill development, income diversification, if hemp cultivation and processing become more
Hello.
widespread in India? Hello? Are you able to hear me? Hello? 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 Hello?
Sorry, I can't hear you, ma'am.
Now? Hello?
Rajni ji, your voice is.
Now? Okay, I'll post in the chat box. Just 1 second. Hello?
Hello. Can you hear me? Hello.
Hello. Are you able to hear me? Hello.
Economic aspect, the social and economic aspects are actually tied together, you know. Once you see something positive and the farmers see that they're making money in a good way, they're making money also, they're able to get some good quality skincare from the oil that it produces. They're able to make homes for themselves. They're able to give their the children some good food, which helps with the development of young children. So all these aspects, they will see the good side of him, and that stigma will start to reduce. The social acceptance will start increasing. As it is, we know that we are still living in a time where smoking is uh, allowed, where drinking is allowed in certain states, in certain places. It's socially accepted. Some people do it, some people don't do it. Those who do it, some of them do it in limited capacity. Some are still extremists. So all that aspect will be there when something opens up, when something is allowed in the society, when your society is allowed to choose. So if they see the economic benefits of the plant, they will definitely choose it over its narcotic aspect. And in terms of income diversification, see, like I said, if small farmers get into cash crops, it will really help them with getting some income. And I'm talking about good amounts of income, because Indian soil is good. We need to know what grows good in that. We need to identify, we need to select the cash crops that are being, popular now everywhere, like from basil to uh, any medicinal plants. There are, especially in Uttarakhand itself, we know, like I know of five, six plants which are specific to that region, and they are actually weed or just growing wild. Nobody's cultivating them because people don't know there is a value to it. There's a medicinal value, there is a use case for it. So I think that would help with the income diversification as well.
Right.
See,
Okay.
if something like hemp would be done at a you know whole country level uh, cultivation, we would be able to produce so much of fiber, so much of wood uh, for hempcrete, for building purposes, and all. Otherwise also, this is coming from somewhere, right? It is coming from trees. Wood is coming from trees. Fiber is coming from cotton. So cotton is taking up more water from the soil. So ultimately it will help with many ways, if it becomes more widespread in India.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Parivardhan. So I don't see any more questions. So now we have come to end of question round. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, we'd like to thank you for the presentation and answering all the questions in depth. So we'll be ending this meeting now.
Thank you so much, Rajni, for this opportunity. And thank you, Agricultural Information, as well, for providing this opportunity. Because, the information needs to be shared amongst people, amongst farmers. And the self-awareness will come from themselves. Once they decide, when somebody seeing this video decides, okay, I want to look into hemp and read more about hemp, they'll find the answers that they're looking for. So all
Right.
the best
Yeah.
to everybody.
Yeah. Thank you. Same to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.